From Tampa Bay streaming news source, brought to you by AlertTodayFlorida.com. This is ABC Action News.
I'm Dee O'Reilly. Rain chances will be low across the Bay Area today. Greg D has your full forecast coming up. But first, here are your ABC Action News headlines. The impact of red tide along Florida's west coast continues to expand north. It's now affecting people as far north as Holmes Beach and Bradenton. People tell us the toxic bloom is causing breathing problems.
Kind of in the middle of the island, you could start smelling it, and she started getting really bad coughs and had to call in a prescription for an inhaler.
Officials are staging several cleanup efforts at Holmes Beach to remove all the dead and rotting marine life. They'll also be handing out masks, gloves, and trash grabbers to anybody who could volunteer to clean up on their time off. Meanwhile, another natural disaster is scorching California. The Mendocino Complex wildfire is now the largest in that state's history. Flames have already burned 284,000 acres. That's the size of Los Angeles. The fire is currently just 30% contained. A St. Pete lawmaker is calling for a special session to change Florida's controversial stand your ground law. The deadly shooting of Marquise McLaughlin at a Clearwater convenience store last month reignited this debate. Earlier this year, lawmakers changed the law to shift the burden of proof to prosecutors. Only 20% of the legislature needs to sign off for a special session to convene. A Tampa middle school teacher is facing more than a dozen charges for inappropriate relationships with two students. Alex Hull is charged with sexual battery and lewd and lascivious molestation. He taught 8th grade algebra at Benito Middle School. Police say the parent of one victim came forward. Detectives do not believe that there are any more victims. An iconic piece of YBOR City is disappearing. A survey found 2/3 of the roosters living in the historic Tampa neighborhood are now gone. Last week, someone found the Colonel, YBOR's most recognizable rooster, dead. The founder of the YBOR Chicken Society is convinced that someone is responsible for the bird's death.
The way he was found, it was obvious that a person had done it. He wasn't in a condition that an animal could have put him in.
They're very much a part of our community, and I can't imagine someone would want to kill off chickens.
The animal rights charity Florida Voices for Animals is now offering a $1,000 reward for information on the Colonel's mysterious death. People living in South St. Pete's so-called food desert because they have to travel miles to get fresh food could get some relief very soon. This evening at City Hall, officials will discuss with neighbors the 6 proposals submitted to redevelop the Tangerine PLAZA shopping center. St. Pete is hoping to move ahead with one of those plans by this fall. I want to check in now with Greg D for your forecast.
And a dry start to the day, but thunderstorms will be possible this afternoon. Just like the last couple of days, coverage will be relatively low, but the best shot at seeing those storms right around that evening commute, 4 to 6 p.m. around Tampa. Before and after the storms, temperatures will be in the upper 80s and low 90s. It'll be warm and humid too. Before you head out of the office, heading home, or maybe some evening plans, check the radar with the Storm Shield app to make sure you don't run into some of those storms. Dia?
All right, thanks, Greg. You can now get news updates all day long on your favorite streaming device. And don't forget to download the free ABC Action News app to receive breaking news alerts.
This ABC Action News Brief was brought to you by AlertFloridaToday.com. Drivers always avoid distractions while driving and focus on the road because safety doesn't happen by accident.